For here?
No, it's 5 o'clock. It's Tuesday, April 18th. This is the organizational board meeting for the village, Pulaski Village Board, being held at 585 East Glenbrook Drive, Pulaski, Wisconsin. Good. I have a roll call and pledge.
Bruce Birchkowski.
Present.
Roger Birchkowski.
Present.
Robert Gajewski.
Here.
Doug Prentice.
Present.
Chris Smith. Here. Robert Van Lannen.
Here.
And Reed Woodward.
Here.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah, back for Karen, I can. So used to that being the next item.
It's okay.
Number 2 is oath of office for newly elected officials. Reed A. Woodward, President. Roger Birchkowski, Trustee. Robert Gajewski, Trustee. And Chris Smith, Trustee.
Okay, if all the newly elected officials could please rise. And if you could please raise your right hand. Reed Woodward, Village President. And Roger Birchkowski, Trustee. Robert Gajewski, Trustee. And Chris Smith, Village Trustee. Having been elected to the offices of President and Trustees, do you swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin, and that you will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of your said office to the best of your ability, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you and congratulations.
All right. Congratulations, everyone. Family.
Number 4 is to approve the agenda as presented
So moved.
by Bruce,
Second.
second by Doug. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 5, persons desiring to be heard. Persons desiring to be heard. Third time, persons desiring to be heard. There being none. Number 6 is fire alarm bids. As part of your packet, we solicited bids, and Joanne, I'm going to turn it over to you.
A couple months ago, the village had expressed interest in having a fire alarm system within the building and also a generator. At that point, I went out and I solicited 5 companies to come to the village. It was approximately 5 weeks ago. I escorted everybody in and through the building who was interested in bidding and to present their proposals. Out of the 5 companies that were entertained, 4 expressed interest. 1 was no longer in the business anymore. The companies were Fireline, Adhere, Insight, Van Ert, and Van Sight Fire and Heating. So they were from all over the state to try to get a better bid perspective. Out of the 4 companies that expressed interest in the system, 2 companies showed up that day and walked the building and then sent back proposals. You have those 2 proposals in front of you. Ahern is from Madison, Fond du Lac area. Actually, the guy that came for the inspection was from Madison. Their corporate office is in Fond du Lac. Their proposal is kind of generic. They didn't highlight a specific company that they were going to use. They gave us some options, and their total base price line was $42,000, plus additional fees for when you have a fire alarm system. That alarm system requires phone line access to make the phone calls out to the fire department and whoever else you want to identify, and that is their proposal. Van Ert Electric is the company that came in with Simplex. Van Ert has been to the village several times with the new project, doing all of the cabling and wiring for the network. They submitted a proposal that is Simplex. Simplex is a well-known company in fire and safety alarms. And their grand total without tax would be the top number and that's $14,870. On their second page, they have an option of attaching the fire alarm system to the network. And what that does for the village is it monitors all of the devices in the building. And if one of the devices has a battery that's getting low, etc., it will alert the appropriate people to get in and change those batteries. Either or system has a maintenance contract where you pay for the phone line to be monitored and the proper authorities to be dispatched. With this system, the cost of that monitoring is $275 a year. So those are some proposals I could bring to you tonight. It's ultimately your decision, even if you buy a fire alarm system at this point, but there are some options for you now.
Boy, I was thinking this would come up around maybe $3,000.
Yeah, I think that's what we talked about, yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that, I was totally flabbergasted. The reason I called Insight is because they used to have a billboard right up here. The fire department has the Insight system that they used to sell. And it was a maintenance agreement every month, and then they owned the equipment and monitored it. They are no longer in that business.
Just a big difference between the two is
Yeah.
Is
What
amazing
is
itself.
that?
One is
Why?
from out of town, one is local. So there is a lot less in travel costs and overnight stays, etc. One is more of an elite company and one is more of a local vendor. The Banner company does have a lot more experience in this building, and so a lot of that experience, they already know where the cables are run, they already know where the raceways are. They probably can do in half the time what someone coming in unfamiliar with the building could do as well. So they were in and out of all the walls last summer. And so I don't know that you even need to make a decision at this point, but you do have some options now at the costs. We can explore other avenues. We can explore just even putting up our own smoke detectors and having something in the building for when you have employees here, but that doesn't alert us if something happens and nobody's here. We had a scary moment last week, and we did not know what it was. We brought in the fire, Joel brought in, what was his name, Joel?
James Pulaski.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Paul called them, Gruner called them in.
Okay.
It was a ballast, we had a late ballast.
The blood
Go on.
instinct kind of traveled in the raceways, and it was hard to pinpoint where it was coming from. Oh, yeah.
Was that in this building?
It was actually right in the hallway where you come in.
Right where you walk
Smell.
into the main reception area, but you could only smell it in the police department side.
Oh,
Because the furnace would draft
sucking it in that way.
Yeah.
that way.
So if there had been a system
It would've
in
went
place,
off. It would've went off.
what would have happened?
Was there a haze, smoke haze you could?
There
do?
was a haze, yeah,
There was a haze.
That would enough to set it off?
It would have,
Yeah.
probably.
depending on the location of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over time, it still would have went off, so, because it might have continued to heat up.
Part of the Banner proposal as well as we, with working with Heartland Business Systems out of Little Chute and buying our technology there, they offer a free monitoring tool. So we installed that a few months back, and what that monitoring tool does is it monitors your network equipment, your servers, make sure everything's operational. Jody has a server for the water tower that reads everybody's meters. And if that service should error out or have issues, it's monitored, so we get an alert, so we can fix that so she doesn't lose any readings. But what our monitoring system doesn't do, it monitors the temperature of the equipment, but it doesn't monitor the temperature of the room. This system would monitor the room. If it gets warm, someone's going to be called as well. So those are just some options for you.
Joanne, will this do anything if just the power goes off and no fire or anything?
This is, would be plugged into our
It's just electric went out. They wouldn't have no alarm with that.
we can double check, but it would be plugged into our UPS systems. So that has extended battery life. We
30
bought,
minutes though, Joanne, right? Realistic.
currently right now, we're at about an hour. And that's where, at the same time as the village talked about the fire alarm system, we talked about a generator backup. So right around that time is when we experienced a power outage. What happens when you have a power outage with the technology that you've made an investment in, or even with your employees, is when you run, it's all plugged into these batteries. So I have 2 batteries back there and I have about an hour's worth of life now. When that hour runs out, everything goes and it's done. If I couldn't run here fast enough to start shutting stuff off, it crashes and you lose data and you take the risk of things not being able to turn back on properly. So we fought through a couple of days of bugs of getting everything to be operational again, 100% with no errors, because we had that monitoring system that told us what was on and what was off or what errored out later. When hard drives go like this, it's just not a good thing, and you have servers with hard drives. We had just made an additional purchase for more hard drives because of a state mandate. That state mandate says we have to keep police data now for 120 days. That takes a lot of space. When those disks crash, there's a chance that they don't come back right. And so it's really in the best interest for the village to look at both the generator and the fire alarm. Then those fire alarms are always going to run with or without power. It's just a good idea, whether it's a little generator, something to keep part of the building functional.
So are you saying, Bob, would they notify you if the lights or if the power went out? Would they
Power went
notify
out, so
you?
if we had a power go out,
I don't think that would.
they
if the
just
power would go out,
replace the
would
generator
notify
that we
you.
were talking about?
No, this is just fire
Just the
alarms.
fire.
But you can have generators that will send messages and text messages out that says, I just kicked in, and you can have the chief and the village president, whoever you designate, get those emergency text messages. We have the system in place where we have our own mail server and our own ability to relay out those messages. We just need the equipment to do it.
But that isn't in this proposal.
The generator is not in this proposal.
Kind of seems like it might be though.
Well, I just
Kinda
can't
go-
figure out what is so grand in this one for 42,000 when you can do it for
Yeah.
15.
And that's why I spread our bids out. I didn't just
Wow.
pick one vendor. When we do bidding, you look on a Google map and you say, and you listen, talk to people in the industry and say, who did you use? Who did you use? And then you send them requests and you get all kinds of varied responses. Part of the $42,000 or even the price of the fire alarm system right now is that it's busy. Everybody is busy and everybody is short-staffed. So that $42,000, they're making a significant investment in just employee time to get up here and install it from Fond du Lac in the Madison area.
So, but we can't really tell
They
what the
don't.
price of the system is. on
They're
here.
very vague in their bid.
It looks like it has the same amount of
official
devices as far as how many alarms. I mean, that looks pretty close. There's a lot of them.
They went by state code and they have to follow regulation and
Okay.
on where they put them.
Yep.
How many per room, one for every room. Yep. And I kind of left that up to them because that's their business. You know, you try not to sway their proposals.
Mhm.
Here we are, what can you offer us? And let them take it from there.
How much was the generator? We talked about generator prices. You guys had a couple bids on that?
We do have a couple bids. Mark and I, we're gonna go through them this week yet.
See what, okay.
Can you have those ready for recommendation at the May 2nd?
Yep, yes.
Do we have money for this?
We lost more shingles last week too.
The only thing I can tell you from a standpoint of having that power outage is that if I have somebody that's working on a report for 5 hours and it goes down,
Starting
and I
over.
lose that data.
Yep.
I'm gone, right now, the way it is. My PC and they're working on it, if they didn't save it on the server, that's 5 hours of work time, plus Karen's work time, Jody's work time.
We're all shut
And
down.
if we're downloading felony stuff, I happen to have something that we're processing and it, we lose that and we lose the course case out of it, you know, I can't put a dollar sign on that. And that's what the generator portion of this is. This is-
Can I ask something, Mark, here? So it's obviously critical that we get that generator before even the fire alarm system, in my opinion, just what you folks told me here. And Joanne, you stated there's an hour's time with the batteries?
Right now, I have 2 what's called UPSs, and they'll last about an hour.
Yeah. Is there a way of charging those batteries up? Is there some type of charger we can put on those batteries?
They're always charging.
before- Huh?
They're always charging.
They're always charging?
Yeah, they're
Well,
APCs.
But I realize that, but let's say the power went out for 18 hours, and we need a generator to charge those batteries up. Is there
You know,
a portable generator, what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
the system would be shut down until the correct power is
Oh,
restored.
Right, you can't have brownouts or surges or power go like this. And so what happens is you have your network, your servers, your stuff. And that plugs into the back of what's called a UPS.
okay,
That UPS has a battery and it goes into the power. It also has what's called surge suppression. So sometimes when you notice the lights go on and off and on and off,
yeah,
if your equipment goes on and off and on and off, that's
Not good.
detrimental to it as well. And so it holds the power steady as the electric company works it out.
okay.
So they're really actually running somewhat off of the batteries. The power keeps it charged.
Oh,
So that way it doesn't go back up and down and up and down.
Gives you an hour to shut down your computers, save what you're working on.
Wait, time out, time out.
No?
It's 2 batteries for
Half hour
just
each?
that room.
just the
Oh.
server,
So those
whatever we've
servers,
been working on is gone.
yeah, the computers still, they're not connected to that battery. They're all in
Oh.
electrical outlets.
Hmm.
Those 2 batteries are just to protect your server infrastructure.
So if you have a generator and the power go out, you're working on stuff, that,
The transfer switch will be instant.
Instant,
It'll be a
so-
flicker,
so it wouldn't lose anything per se.
probably not, it'll flicker.
And if you
Yeah.
watch sometime, not that I recommend it, but if you go home and your computer's plugged in and you watch your monitor, you pull plug, you still have that brief second where it still has energy within it. So
Okay.
it'll sustain that.
Good.
I think I'd like to table this discussion for when we see what we've got going on with the generators.
That might be the first big purchase, I'm thinking, at this point.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Yeah,
Mark, couldn't we just have some smoke detectors in here that would take care of?
We checked, and we checked on that too. Something is better than nothing, you know, for right now.
It's just that nobody's here then
You
either.
know, it's just not, it's not the end of it's not an answer for everything, and like you said, something's better than nothing, you know.
Thank you.
Thank you for all your work.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm surprised the insurance company didn't enforce having smoke alarms in here.
I'm surprised.
It's not
Steve
cold.
doesn't enforce
Doesn't
it.
require them because nobody, this isn't occupied 24 hours, which kind of surprised me. I thought at least smoke detectors would
Yeah.
have been
Right.
suggested. When I went to the organization, they said they're not required by the state. I was
Yeah,
flabbergasted.
I'll make a motion to table it.
By Doug,
I'll second.
second by Roger, any in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 7, resolution 1172-17. This has been revised. A resolution to accept contingency fund balances for the period ending December 31st, 2016. Note revised from the 4/11/17 village board to include the approval to include the room tax contingencies as well, which the auditor says we have to do from now on.
So they're separate items. It would be the room tax commission portion
Right.
with the 24,331, and then the room tax for the village portion with the 30%, the 7175. And it's 7175 because we had an expenditure with the North Industrial Park
We
sign.
paid for the North Business Park sign using that fund.
I'll make a motion to accept the contingency fund balances
Revised.
As revised
as revised.
I'll second.
by Bruce. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 8, a part of your packet, shows you the contingency, the committee appointments and et cetera, poll workers and all of that other stuff. I want input from each chairman particularly, of each committee. And I want to hear from all of you this week, or the beginning of next week, because on May 2nd, we will do the appointments. So those of you that are our chairman, if you wish to continue, you've got to, gotta let me know. If you want off of a committee or on another committee, please let me know by Tuesday of next week. And we will finalize that at the May 2nd board meeting and make the appointments for this coming calendar year. Is that all right with everyone?
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Number 9, to discuss and consider the approved refuse recycling contract options as per Joel Van Lannen.
I did have a discussion with Harder's after the last meeting. They did tell me that as far as holding their increase, they really can't do anything with it. They said that's where they beat their competitor, is by having a low increase. They did say that if we were to sign a longer term agreement with them or extend the agreement with them, they could go from 50 cents a cart down to 25 cents a cart for any future carts we would need. That's what they were able to do. And
Call it
that's-
an extension, or we talked 2 years, right?
We could go 2 to 5, anywhere from 2 to 5.
And they'd lower down to 25 cents?
They cut it in half. They said most all other municipalities are above 60 cents per cart.
Oh, I'd almost like that longer contract, then we're not chasing after bids and different things. I think what they're doing for us is worth the money, and
It's, yeah,
I believe we're probably well below market right now as well.
From what I've seen, we're in good shape, and I'd like to stay that way. They've been investing heavily in new equipment, which is to our benefit as well.
Mm-hmm.
and we did have discussion about the past.
The hiccups.
Yes, and he did assure me that they are correcting it on their end.
And they've been responsive. It's been a next day pickup for every one
Yeah.
of those times
Right.
they did.
And he did tell me, he said, he told me all the accounts, he said, we are gonna have that.
Every
It's
company
just-
don't have that, yeah.
He said, it's just human error, there's nothing we can do. Their goal obviously is to get it corrected as soon as we call.
No. He doesn't leave you hanging, he takes care of it, and
Yeah, I deal with 2 guys there, and they're both, always answer their phone, always give me an answer, do what they say they're gonna do, and, they did share too, that some of the people that call with a complaint, if the whole road's picked up and there's just one person, they might have not had their stuff to the curb in time also.
I've never seen that happen.
No. Boy, 25 cents a container per month, per year, that's $3. How many years would that container really have to last
You know, and I did discuss.
before that'd be a bad idea?
I did discuss with him, why do communities buy, why, he said, in the first 5 years, you know, they're brand new, they're not gonna break, usually, and he said, they're not gonna get broken when they get wheeled down. He said, we're gonna break them with our truck. He said, if you guys own them, you now have to go, you know, repair it. He said, versus if we break it with our truck, and they'll come out and repair it and give them a new one, and it's on their dime.
So what did we say? Did we talk about the price of the contract? Last time I can't remember.
The escalators are already in place.
They're already set.
So,
And he said, quite honestly, there's nothing they can do with that.
yeah, that's fine. That's good.
A little bit of price on the
I
containers.
just can't remember what the price was.
I remember the agony we had in the past with garbage service. And about every 2 years, we ended up with a new service and started off from day one again.
And keep in mind, nothing's gonna change until a new house is built and they need one, or if they break your recycle bin Monday. You know, we do have a handful, 10 maybe left. So it's not like we're gonna incur any cost, you know, next Monday. But we're at the point where we either A, need to order more or go with this option.
Yeah, for a quarter, so.
It'd take a long time to recover
Oh,
that.
God, yeah. So you thinking like a 3-year, or what was your?
I was thinking 5,
Five,
if we
would
could
it
lock
5?
them in for 5.
That's what I thought too. I mean, if things are working well and the pricing is good and you like the 25 cents, why not go 5?
I'd be a little concerned only if they weren't very responsive, but they have been.
Yeah, and what you're
As long as
saying.
their customer service doesn't go south on you.
That allows them to do some business planning, and if they've got this contract for 5 years, maybe they're buying new equipment versus, well, we might not get the Pulaski account again, and it's up next year,
Yeah.
so.
I don't remember if there were some words in the contract that we could discontinue them for some odd reason, I thought, was it?
Yeah, there's an escape clause for both sides.
Bill could probably go through that, but I'm sure there is.
I think maybe one of the bigger problems that we've had with them are new people.
Yeah.
They don't seem to do a lot of training, I guess, or.
And then they had that one truck where the bottom was bored through.
Yeah.
And,
Yep.
And I would think that when you have a new person, you're more likely to start busting up
Containers do it,
carts,
yeah.
So, you know, and then it's on their dime, so it makes sense to me.
Okay, motion
I'll make a motion for the 5-year contract.
by Bruce,
I'll second.
second by Chris. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Item number 10, consider to approve operator bartender license application ending in 6/30 of 2018. We have none. Number 11, department reports, Public Works.
Just a little update on the 2 park projects. They are up and running. Concrete has been poured on both of them. The community park, they did start framing, and the masons were supposed to be here today, but it sounds like tomorrow first to start with the block work for the bathrooms at Memorial Park.
Yeah, it's quite a bit bigger. All those pads in there, you can say, wow, that's a lot bigger than that other one.
And that's all I have.
Sewer and water?
The tower washing went well. They completed it by last week, and they finished the touch-up on the reservoir that they did not finish in last fall because of the cold weather. So that's done. I don't know if anybody in here got a chance to view that when those guys were up there power washing that. It's quite a sight to see. I wouldn't do that.
You should have took some
think I see
video
that.
and put it on the website.
Yeah, I took some snapshots of it, and I mean, they devise a apparatus with a ladder that kind of comes around the sphere, and there were 3 guys hanging off of that thing with power washers, And when they moved the ladder, the guy went on top, one on the bottom on the painter's ring, and the guy in the middle, and they swung at their body weight to move the ladder.
Oh my gosh.
Sometimes there just ain't enough booze or drugs. Boy. But it got done, and the spot that we were seeing on the top west side of the sphere that looked like the paint was all bad on it, that was actually a spot up there that accumulated an extra amount of dirt that never showed up that bad before, and I think that was due to the road construction we've had the last few years. You know, that the amount of dirt and the mold that has really accumulated this time, where the first time around it didn't, so.
Always wonder where
It's
the
all I have.
trapeze get when they're retired.
Thank you. I'm glad I didn't see that, actually.
Called your insurance company.
We had a process that we started and we finished it this morning with the liaison position for Officer Tillen's retirement, and the vote is in, and it's going to be Adam Winkler is going to take that position, and he'll start in May before school's out, spend about a month with Jim to kind of acclimate himself here and there throughout the month, and then next fall in August, when the kids come back, the end of August, I do believe it's the end of August, I'm not sure what the start date is, he will be the liaison officer. And thank you, Bob, for sitting in on that panel. Oh, yes, I forgot about that. Thank you, Karen. The K-9 run for this week, Sunday. Anybody's interested, there's, you can do the walk.
Walk, yeah.
The walk portion of it, and we're gonna get started probably very early in the morning. Kyle said he'll be in around 5:30, 6 o'clock to set things up, so please, if you can get out and
Where does it
help us
start?
out. It's gonna be at the community park, and the course will be back through the woods, and it'll go up through the mountain bay and wrap around. So everything's laid out. I think he has like over 100 applications ready for it. I want to say closer to 150
Wow.
right now.
Good.
Got some competition.
So yeah, so you're gonna have some competition, Doug, when you're running this.
It's $25 to register. You can register online, and the day of the event, if you register, it's $35. And he said like hamburgers and stuff when you get done, there's like
Yeah, Super Runs has been
hot
really
dogs.
good about helping us out with some of the food, and there's a lot of people that have helped out. Carver helped out with the signs, fabulous signs for the K-9 run. When you're finished up at the meeting, I did get the squad car in. The new one is here with the. I was able to get the label. I'm still waiting for the seats to come in. Obviously, as soon as they receive that product that's been ordered. And a camera I'm waiting for also, and then it'll go to Stevens Point to have it completed and put together, but it's here, and after the meeting, anybody who wants to walk in and take a look at it. I did change the design and the pattern on it, so I would encourage you to take a quick peek at it. It's in our pay.
With the run, there's all kinds of raffle gifts, some wonderful prizes. I saw a TV in there and a bunch of different stuff, so even if you aren't running or walking, there's going to be food.
Yep, and
Come in.
Kyle put a lot of hours worth of time into this, and you have to give him a lot of credit for what he's done to organize this. It's a huge thing to take on, as you know, with the couple events that you've run with the bike rodeo. There's a tremendous amount of behind-the-scenes work that goes into the fundraising event.
What time does that start?
9,
9
and
o'clock
then
is
the run
a
is at 9:15.
Yeah, so, I would say early, you want to be there a few minutes early so you
Registration,
can make sure everything is up. You receive everything in your packet, and if you register online, he's putting packets together on Friday. We're going to have it all organized.
Can you have a donut before you walk?
The camera's rolling,
Okay.
and the officers watched.
Hopefully Donnie Trojan isn't watching.
I love Donnie.
That all, Mark?
That's all I have.
Thank you. Jody? Sure. Bill?
Nope.
Communications, the Planning and Zoning Commission will meet tomorrow, April 19th at 6 p.m. at the Pulaski Village Hall. The Economic Development Ad Hoc Committee meeting is Monday, April 24th at noon at Glenbrook School District Office. The NEW Paramedic Safety, Public Safety Board meeting is Monday, 24th at 1 p.m. at NEW Rescue Building. The Parks Youth Committee meeting is Tuesday, the 25th at 6 p.m. at Pulaski Village Hall. And the next regular board meeting for the village will be on Tuesday, May 2nd, 2017 at 6 p.m. at the Pulaski Village Hall. The open book for the 2017 assessment rolls is scheduled for Thursday, May 4th at 10:30 a.m. As per Mike Diener, the assessor, who will be chair of that. And the board review, which is mandatory for the entire board, will be held Wednesday, May 10th at 4 p.m. to 6:01 p.m. at Pulaski Village Hall. And, anybody has anything? If not, we entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
By Chris,
I'll second it.
second by Bob Pulaski. All in favor?
Aye.
Yes, we are adjourned. Thank you all. You're all encouraged to go to the library.
Then Al.